Landmines and jellyfish. Welcome back to Knives, I guess, and I just invented crotchless footy pajamas. All I know is when I get rich, people like me better watch out from now on. But we just did a live stream and we went in on this Brillier, really rare, it's a knife. It was the cheapest knife I could buy on Amazon at the time of purchase for $4.87. And this is either a clone of something or it's one of those just generic designs that a whole bunch of Chinese drop shipping companies will slap a name on and send out the door. We thought it was a clone of a Cold Steel, but on further research, it's not that. We thought it was a Cold Steel Black Sable, but that's not it. We went and looked and it's not that. So one of you guys might know more than I do and be able to tell me if this is a clone of something, but I think what we got is one of those just generic designs that everybody slaps a name on and sends out. I've got a few of those now. But let's take a look at this thing real quick. And first things first, and most importantly, the pocket clip was tipped down. And I hate tip down, but we all live in sin. We got aluminum scales. We got a flipper tab. Let's flick the bean. We have got 2.6 inches of what the page on Amazon claims is Japanese AUS tin in 60 to 62 HRC. Lies! Those are lies. Somebody's pants are fully engulfed in flames. I am calling the Pants on Fire department. It is not that. It is so not that. But, let's go back a little bit. I dual wielded this for a few days with the Ontario Rat 1 and S35 VN. Carried it for a few days to get a feel for it, and one thing that's worth noting is out of the box, the factory, they left a big old burr on this thing. There was a nice, big, fat, stanky burr on it, and that messed with any cutting that I did. It helped in some cuts, like getting plastic off of pallets and stuff like that, but in other cuts, it was just an absolute detriment. Complete detriment. So, of course, I ran it like that until we started on Cardboard Slayer, but, one of the reasons I hate tip down so much is, it's tip down, I pull it out of the pocket, and I'm used to tip up carry, so I'm pulling it and going to open it like that, and, I'm hitting the back here, and then I got to flip it over. I'm like, oh yeah, that's where it is. And I never quite get used to that, and then putting it back, too. I'm putting it back like it's tip up and nothing's happening, so I got to flip it over, and it drives me up the wall. It's the same thing as when you try to put a USB in on the first try blind. I just hate it. I know some guys prefer it, but it's not for me. So, it carried okay for tip down. It worked okay. That burr kind of helped and kind of didn't. Just kind of a, experience overall. The factory edge with that burr on it might have been a 4 out of 10. Like, it wasn't good. So, we brought it back, and I didn't do the follow-up video because I figured I'd just slap it in there with the live stream results and get all that done in one whack. So we started in on Cardboard Slayer, and one thing else worth mentioning is the flipper tab. If you barely flick the bean, it wouldn't open all the way. Let's see if we broke that any, because I haven't actually looked. Very gentle bean flick. Yes, okay, so the gentle bean flick works now. It actually loosened up and started working right after a little breaking in. But, we started in on Cardboard Slayer, and I cut a couple of pieces of cardboard at work with it, and it looked bad. It looked bad going into it. And so we started in on it, and, the first few cuts, we were just kind of knocking that burr off, and it was starting to wear down, and I figured maybe it'll start cutting good once the burr is gone. No. It started off bad, and it just kept getting worse. After about 15 minutes, we gave up, and it was time to sharpen it. So it's not worthy of the Precision Adjust. It doesn't deserve it. Nothing about this deserves a Precision Adjust. So we got out the Ken Onion belt grinder just to zip a quick 3-minute edge on there. And, we zipped that on there, got it polished, got it stropped out and all that, and it started cutting okay. But the ergonomics on this are terrible. Like, these ergonomics are worse than being forced to watch your mom's OnlyFans. They are so bad. Like, I'm holding it to push through the cuts, and the jimping right here dug into this really bad. That was painful almost instantly. And the ergos right here on these were just kind of catching in here and making it very painful, because this is like already a 3-finger grip. And holding it how I do to push through my cuts, it hurt the whole time. Very, very uncomfortable. The pocket clip, that had to go. That was only making it worse. And I thought by taking the pocket clip off, like a lot of other tip-down knives that we've done Cardboard Slayer on, would make it a good bit better. No. It made the smallest difference it is possible to make. did not help much at all. It helped some, but nowhere near enough. But, you know, we get to cutting and we're pushing through cardboard, and after a bit less than an hour, that edge was already crapping out again. It was already crapping out again, and like you can tell, I didn't really care what I was doing sharpening it, because the thumb studs here are now faceted where they didn't used to be, because I was hitting them on the belt, and it's like, I don't care. I'm laying this down flat to get the best chance possible of getting good cardboard cuts out of it. Like, I did not care. I nicked the aluminum right here. Like, this tells you how little I cared about what was happening to this thing. Just no concern whatsoever. And, you know, so I stopped and I hand sharpened it. I figured I'd get some practice freehand sharpening. It was a free shot at it. And while hand sharpening, I noticed that right through here, there was a huge low spot that took so much time to knock out. Part of that is I barely know what I'm doing with hand sharpening, and part of it was EDC and Lace. Fantastic fountain of knowledge. Oh my God, I love having her around. But she said, you know, the edge of the sharpening block is your friend. And I didn't quite understand what she meant until I tipped it over, and on the corner, like this on the corner, dragging it along the edge, hanging off of there at a 45, that hogged enough material off to get it done. Now, we had broken into the pizza box. It was that time of the stream, because you know I spoil you guys. And those cuts weren't going good, and I thought it was my sharpening job, so we took it back to the belt grinder and zipped it through again and stropped it again, and it was still having a hard time with that, so I prematurely sharpened after my hand sharpening, which I wish I hadn't have done, because I wanted to see how well my hand sharpening held up. But we'll do that again in the future at some point with another cheap knife that I'm not worried about screwing up if I do something bad to the thumb studs or something like that. And I'm not worried about maintaining a pristine factory-looking grind, because I actually got a pretty good-looking sharpen out of it, but I jumped the gun on resharpening it. So we cut with it for a few more minutes, and it just wasn't an enjoyable experience, so we kind of gave up on that. Like, I got it sharpened and stropped out one last time, we cut some paper up with it, and got on with life. The live stream itself was great. Like, this was a different stream. We spent a lot of time sitting there looking at the knives that I have laying around and kind of talking about stuff and talking about knife companies and stuff we like and don't like. Like, that was a lot of fun. Like, I'm really happy you guys were here for that one. And it was cool doing something different besides just cutting cardboard for 8 hours straight. So, this thing is awful. Like, you get $4.87 worth of knife out of it. I still think I'd rather have this than that Fox Edge I'm going to carry this week, if I'm being honest, because at the very least, there's a little bit of blade play now. I think I loosened the pivot up a little bit, beating on it so hard. We don't have a ton of lock rock. We don't have parts falling off it. Like, that Fox Edge is going to suck. But since I did sharpen it, we're going to cut some paper with it. Like, unfortunately, the blade's a hair too short to do the longer cuts, but I did get it sharpened back up. But I don't think the steel is capable of taking that keen of an edge and holding it very well. But you can see it's cutting now. So we know that claim a Japanese AUS 10. Straight lies. 60 to 62 HRC. Lies. Lies and deception. So we don't know what it is. This might be 4116. It might be 420J2. Who knows? It might be 3CR. I hate the fact that they lied on that, because I would have bought it for these videos even if it said 3CR or something like that. I would rather know what the steel is and know what we're getting into than have to deal with like being incapable of guessing, because there's so many crap steels that would do the same thing. Yeah, so no idea what the steel could possibly be. You got me. But, and I think we saw a couple other guys selling these things with different names on them and different branding and, branding on the blade and everything else. So, again, if one of you guys knows what this might be a clone of, please say something in the comments, because I'd like to know. But to the best of my ability to guess, it's one of those generic designs that a whole bunch of, somebody in China is selling these to different companies to slap their own branding on and send it out there. I think that's what's happening, but I could easily be wrong. So, I love sharing what happened with you after a Cardboard Slayer session, and that's what happened with this one. So, all that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. Subscribers, you guys are awesome. Y'all are still coming in. I appreciate it so, so much. Again, stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I have got 4 knives to give away. I'm doing that giveaway video very soon here, so I'm looking forward to doing that and seeing who wins what. Comments, I love some feedback. Let me know what you think about this thing, or if you know more than I do about this, please inform us. And all that being said, y'all have a nice day.